guess I should have brought my jacket to work.
En vrai, je pense que je lui mettrais pour le moment un petit 7,5, 8.
Almost there. Stephen didn't want to go out for a drink tonight, so I'll drink my whiskey in the company of my TV. Ah, shit. I forgot the muffin. Well, Ridley will have a nice treat for the night. I'm sure he'll be his happy, thankful self tomorrow.
Tu lui donnes quoi comme note, Slay? Je suis à quel étage, moi? Une petite musique d'ascenseur.
What? What? What the fuck? But I locked it. I'm sure of it.
J'ai pas fermé la clé.
Who the fuck did this? I don't have anything valuable. Money. They must have stolen the money. Fuck!
Elle a pas bougé? Ouais.
Great. That's all I need. Ooh, what if it was Red Pete? Where? I need my pills. I can't get my thoughts together. Okay. I'm gonna have to report this to the police. Christ. Why did the neighbors not report anything? I'm calling Stephen. Stephen?
Now, Jack, I told you, I'm going for a drink with you for another night in a row.
That's not why I'm ringing. Although I could do with one. Someone broke into my apartment.
What? Did anyone see anything? Have you called the police yet?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, no one contacted me. As for the police, I'm calling right now, officer.
Alright. Do you want me to head round?
Ok, Steven, du coup, est flic.
I don't know. No, I guess not. Honestly, I don't have the strength to deal with it right now. I just want to lie down.
Are you sure? Because it's no trouble at all.
I think so. I'm sorry. I just wanted to calm down a bit. I don't know. That's probably some stupid joke. Only
Sacré mauvaise blague.
Money? From Alice's box? Oh, fuck. Listen, I can come over. I have the key. I'll drop by, do what I need to do, and you go get some sleep.
No, don't trouble yourself. Lately, I've been just so tired and distracted. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to close the apartment door on my way to work. If anything else is missing, I'll let you know and call the police.
All right. Just make sure you close it tonight. If you see anything weird tomorrow, let me know. Whoever did this may be watching you.
I don't think anyone is dumb enough to come back.
You're probably right. Take care, Jack. If you need anything, call me.
I promise I will. Thanks, Stephen. Sorry to bother you again. I've just been all over the place lately.
It's not a problem. Good night, Jack.
Good night. What? I guess I should clean this shit up. Where to start? Shit. The glass in this thing needs to be replaced.
Jack, why?
Ugh. sure I won't get caught up in these papers. Alice's family should really have some of these. That's enough for now. Jeez, I'm exhausted. I'll get the rest in the morning.
Putain, moi je pourrais pas dormir là-dedans.
Now if only I could blame this on the burglars. Oh yeah, I should take my pills.
J'étais en train de me dire ça a été rangé. Oui. Il n'y avait pas ça. Il n'y avait pas les poubelles.
I feel like it takes me forever to finish these things. That's enough. It will never look clean. I need to quickly change and finish getting ready. I'm gonna be late for work again. Got my keys, got my files. Check. Time to go. Remember to close the door properly, Jack. I'll ask the neighbors tomorrow if they saw anything suspicious.
Wesh, il a fait un peu bizarre l'ascenseur.
Fix the coffee machine.
Mais j'ai jamais demandé le 4.
Huh?
J'ai pas demandé le 4. Non, l'ascenseur il va se fermer. J'aurais dû prendre les marches. La moto à moi-même, on prend plus l'ascenseur. On prend plus l'ascenseur, c'est fini.
Maybe a bit optimistic. I'd better grab a coffee on the way. I'm exhausted. I wonder who Stephen brought in today. Good morning, Mr. Ridley. Oh, he's not here yet? No, I'll deal without him.
Fanto... je sais plus quoi. Putain, du coup, il a mis une affiche en même temps du mec qui recherchait. Ok.
I hope he... Oh, come on. He was too lazy to even wheel the gurney to the autopsy room. Almost there. Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him? Alright. I just need some gloves and my apron. Then I can get to work. I'm going to...
Ça devient une habitude, ça y est. Ah, c'est toi sur ça?
Autopsy dated November 22nd, 1991.
Ah, il n'y a pas de cam.
7:32 p.m. Led by Dr. I begin by verifying the identity. It's most likely Harper Lloyd, age 35. Found in a well-owned house by her neighbors, Leonard and Dorothy Chelsea. Reported missing for a week. Firefighters found the body after the Chelsea family began complaining that their tap water tasted strange, and at one point had begun to smell and turn a dark color. The last person who had contact with the deceased was her partner. Harper's last message read as follows: "I'm gonna take a shit in their stupid well. Then we'll see who has the last laugh.
Potentiellement qu'elle est tombée.
It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed with affective bipolar disorder. Harper was placed on drug therapy, which she dropped out of fairly regularly. During her treatment, she was under the care of her common-law partner, Richard Benson, professional truck driver. Police records also show that Mrs. Lloyd was in constant conflict with her neighbors. The most important task in forensic identification of a drowned person is to distinguish whether the death occurred before or... Okay, that could...
Wow.
I carefully removed the victim's clothes so as not to... Once the deceased was found fully clothed, I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks. Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism. The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely
Ah, les
pale.
craquelures.
Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body, that is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased. There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out. The so-called
Toujours les pieds.
skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time.
Ah, elle a peut-être essayé de
The
remonter.
hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove.
C'est bizarre,
There
ça.
are some obvious scratches on the skin. So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at
It's Pikachu! Merci pour le follow. Attends. La phase de repose-pied. C'est quoi ce pseudo?
today's date.
Alors.
Deceased was clothed.
Ok.
Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided.
Les outils.
There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of
C'est drôle.
altercation prior to death.
C'est drôle comme pseudo.
We see thick white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary
Ugh.
edema. Foam is a
Je
characteristic.
pense que
of
l'intérieur, quand on va
death.
l'ouvrir, ça va être dégueulasse. Mais même, genre, il lui manque un œil quand même. Genre, ça, on l'a pas noté quand même.
The spots have a purplish blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism.
Ok.
No
Ça se trouve, le
obvious
truc, il va nous
signs of
péter la gueule.
struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails.
Oui, c'est sûr que c'est moins drôle pour ton visage.
Yep, pretty typical.
Mais le
Liver
pseudo est
mortis
drôle.
are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the veins. Due to the fact that the deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet
Waouh!
were in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, okay, that's probably enough to indicate
Oh, les
direction
pieds.
for further
Exactement, tiens.
examination.
J'espère que les tiens sont pas comme ça. Alors, hop. Là,
If the
là,
presence of
là.
marks found on the neck
Le
and
pied
considered
ici,
hands have those
ici.
abrasions appear
Et voilà.
relatively fresh. No healing or scarring is visible.
Ça en fait des lignes.
Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning. With their distribution suggests that the victim was in this case, the question is, with a simple drip, lost. Fortunately, maybe it's just an abrasion, or maybe the result of a.
Si jamais tu veux t'inscrire, c'est gratuit.
dissection. I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct. The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Dans la mallette. Je pense pas qu'il parle de
Scalpel,
celle-là.
scissors,
Ah, là.
syringe. Well, with decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads of the fingers tends to. The fingerprint sheet should
Vous
always
imaginez,
be
en vrai, c'est pas le bon corps.
checked. The body of the deceased is well preserved. Fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person. I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles.
Dégueulasse. Ignoble. J'ai horreur des aiguilles. Dit-elle, la meuf tatouée.
Now I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink. I think it's enough. In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print. I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system.
Moi, je veux juste prendre la feuille. C'est pas grave, merci pour le follow, merci du passage. Passe une bonne journée, des bisous. Lettre du fax, j'en ai... Si, il y en a là.
Green button and... Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer. Great. The data
Putain, on utilise pas mal de trucs là pour la première fois.
Now, go through the database and find a matching print. Expect possible hours of fun. One more. Analyze button.
C'est le même.
And we have a result.
Du premier coup.
Everyone has a story to tell, even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper Lloyd. That went smoothly. I'll print this out and attach it to the medical records. Great. Now I can go back to my inspection. I'm adding the name of the deceased. I'll start the internal examination by taking fluid from the victim's brain. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick. If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life. And then diatoms, characteristics of pooled water like a well, got into the body. In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure
Le microscope, c'est la première fois qu'on l'utilise.
Taken from the well where police found the body. Now I need to adjust the knobs properly. As expected, we find the aforementioned algae in the solution. Their upper part, epitheca, which overlaps the lower, hypotheca, is clearly visible.
Ok, apparemment
The
c'est
presence
bon.
of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certainly alive, which, since there were diatoms in the brain, it means that many more of them must have entered the body. Studies of the rest of the organs will most likely confirm this hypothesis. I can finally get to the practical part. I must be extra careful because the skin of the deceased is very stretched. I wouldn't want an explosion here. You can immediately see a very large swelling.
Singer qui est sur super maquette, donc qui est sur.
All internal organs are very congested.
Merde, j'ai oublié ça.
I proceed to remove the rib cage. It's easy to see that the ribs have been imprinted in the lungs. So, I'm going to start by drawing blood from the lungs for testing for diatom. If diatoms were only present in the lungs, this would mean that the victim was placed in the well after death, and the perpetrator wanted to get rid of the corpse in this way. Taking the lungs in my hand, I feel that the tissues have lost their elasticity, which is the result of water emphysema. In addition, there is significant
Non, c'est juste que j'ai eu le truc qui s'est
swelling
mis.
of the organs, and as a result, we have a nice imprint of the ribs. The emphysema itself. It's clear how far it's progressed, which is characteristic of drowning. Corpses found in water are worth examining with a tomograph. However, I can't count on such luxuries, so I must reach for a more archaic technology. A bucket and water.
C'est pas traduit. Quelle bucket, donc je pense que je vois... Du coup, je suppose que je dois aller là-bas.
Has anyone been here? I hope no one dipped a mop in it. It's best to go to the lab for this.
Un mec qui était comme ça.
Oh, Jesus. Historically, the lung float test is used to detect infanticide. The water should be at room temperature.
Tout va bien.
To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water. This checks if there is air in the lungs. And speaking of lungs, everything is ready to bring them here. Of course, such a study isn't without flaws. Air may have entered a newborn's airways during resuscitation attempts. Gas is released during decomp. In this case, however, it's about something else. Namely, the amount of fluid in the lungs. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water and wait to see if they fall or if they will float on the surface. Just as I assumed, the lungs collapsed easily. Fluid could have entered the lungs during panic attempts to catch breath underwater, but it could also be the result of bacterial infections or cancer, so further investigation is needed. I move on to dissecting the lungs of the deceased. You can hear the distinct, very unpleasant crackling of the tissues being cut through. The parenchyma is remarkably pale, although small hemorrhagic foci and petechia are present on the surface. All right.
En vrai, c'est peut-être ces médicaments qui le
I will
rendent
check
comme
the
ça.
collected fluid under a microscope. If we find 20 diatoms on the slide, it can be considered drowning, and our result is not false positive. The aperture still needs adjustment. I'm finally starting to see something here. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this distance. Great. And it's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. But, and perfect.
Oula!
As expected. In solution, the diatoms are clearly visible. There are smaller and larger clusters of them. There will definitely be more than 20 of them.
Ah, je vais te monter la recharger après la
This. So far, this case looks pretty standard. It's clear from the beginning that it's drowning. Well, the procedure requires me to check everything anyway. So, I move on to checking the other organs. I ligate the heart, and then remove it for inspection. Strongly developed putrefactic hemolysis, the organ can be seen at first glance. Apart from that,
Alors, tu ne t'en réveillé, toi?
attack or other heart disease.
Bah ouais, bah. Laisse-moi le marquer! Ouais. Shift. Ah. Bon. Garde-toi pas là. Qu'est pas ça? Pourquoi il veut pas? C'est grave. Ouais. Pourquoi il me laisse pas marquer? Ouais. J'avoue, perso, je bouge, j'ai envie de regarder. Ah putain, ok, parce qu'il est là. T'inquiète, de toute façon, dans 10 minutes, je change de jeu. Normalement, donc... j'ai fait de la noyade, ok. Ah, c'est bon. Le foie, il est où? Bah. Ça me donne envie de rentrer voir les vues. Oh putain. Ça va, les gars?
It's immediately apparent that the deceased didn't care for herself. Like most organs, the beginnings of cirrhosis are visible in some areas. I transfer the organ to a board and proceed to dissect.
Après, c'est pas de ma faute, quoi.
The cross-section clearly shows dilated veins.
Ah merde, c'est vrai, j'ai dit d'ailleurs, je vais te le prendre. T'as pu te le prendre, du coup?
Considering the rather young age of the deceased, Harper enjoyed drinking so much that she might not have lasted a few more years. I move on to the stomach. I take a sample of the fluid for testing.
La seringue. J'ai cru que le truc blanc là qui volait, j'ai cru que ça sortait de son œil.
It looks very turbid. I'll see what happens after spinning.
Oh.
But that's in a moment.
Okay.
Now, I carefully ligate the organ, then cut it off. It's enlarged, probably full of putrid gases.
Oh, mais il me fait chier.
I transfer it to the board and carefully open it, checking the contents. One thing you'd never get used to is how much this desk smells.
Oh, ça va, on s'habitue à l'odeur, fais pas genre. Ça y est, il en fait tout un pataquès. On s'habitue jamais à l'odeur. Chuchote.
Okay, so let's check the diatoms. Again, but in a centrifuge for a change. The problem with examining drowned people is being able to show whether the death was due to drowning or whether something else contributed to the death. Cramp, heart attack, drugs, homicide, or some accident. Such an analysis requires viewing from different angles and a careful interpretation of the collected data, including those from the field. That's why it's so important to collect as many samples as possible. Unfortunately.
Les mecs, un tueur en liberté, ils font quoi? Ils laissent la fenêtre ouverte. Normal. Alors... 15, 70... Bah en fait je sais pas trop. Je pense que c'est oui et non. 35 minutes, 25%. Comme ça saute pas.
Done. I'll run it directly into the chromatograph and run it against the data from the police. I'm certain the analysis will show similarities between the fluid and water in Chelsea's well. Let me think. 3 milliliters should be fine. Okay, now it's the chromatograph's turn.
Non, je suis trop déplacée. Ouais, ça va toutes les lignes. Attends, me semble. Positif, positif, positif.
Yes. The water sample matches the one provided by the police. Well, the results are quite clear. I was hoping it would be a more interesting case.
Ouais, c'est une noyade quoi.
More diatoms. Analysis indicates the same origin. Blah blah blah.
Blah 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 blah.
There's little left to do. Interesting. Looks like there's something stuck in the trachea. I'm moving to the board for further inspection. I dissect the trachea and open the organ. Inside, I find a wedding. Based on the size, I can say that it's a woman's wedding ring. Quite standard from the outside. There's an engraving inside. What the fuck? But this is my ring. Alice's ring. But how did it, but this should be at home. I have it. At home. It's, I have to check this out. Where are my meds? Where the fuck are my meds? Huh? Jesus Christ! Hope these all make it go away. I have to check the apartment. It can't be. Jesus Christ! Mr. Ridley. Jesus Christ!
Comment je me suis pas retrouvée?
I have to check this out.
Mais non, mais il y a quelqu'un dedans. Il y a le mec de la sécu. Je laisse pas ouvert le bâtiment. Pas grave. Il y a Radley.
This can't be real. Where is it? Where is it? Where? It's not here. It's not. I need to go.
Ouais, je suis toujours avec vous. Putain, par contre, j'avais pas vu dans le coquillage, c'était là où il avait dit est-ce que tu veux te marier avec moi? J'avais pas vu que c'était dans le coquillage.
This is sick. Fuck.
Et est-ce que c'est pas le tueur genre qui aurait étouffé en mettant la bague dans la gorge de la meuf vu qu'il savait que c'est lui qui récupérerait le corps?
What's up, man?
They took the ring.
What? What ring? What are you talking about?
They took the wedding ring. Alice's wedding ring.
One sec. You mean burglary? You said nothing was missing.
Yes, I know that. I don't know. I was jittering. Maybe I didn't notice. I don't know, but that's not the worst of it.
Calm down, Jack. Breathe. What happened?
I found it in the trachea of the deceased I was working on. Do you understand? I pulled it out of a dead woman's trachea.
What?
I don't know what's going on. You think Red Pete wants revenge?
Bah là, y a plus rien.
He's playing with me. Huh? I knew it. I knew
Mais y a
it
plus
from the
rien là.
beginning. This is going to happen. I didn't make it up.
Jack, listen to me. Try to calm down. Don't leave the apartment. I'll be with you right away, okay? I'm on my way.
What sane person would do something like that? How? And when? When the fuck? Fucking Ridley lets in whoever he likes as usual. What are you saying? Steve? Steven? Don't leave me, man. Come on. Fuck.
Mais y a plus rien là dans la boîte.
God, what now? Okay, calm down. Just, Jesus. What's going on?
Un petit verre?
Just one sip more. Yeah. Jesus.
Qui fait un petit cocktail? Est-ce qu'on l'a la ref?
Just one sip more. Okay.
Putain, le chapitre 2 est déjà fini? En fait, encore, ça doit être un chapitre.
I can't do it anymore. These reports will kill me one day. I'll have to finish it over the weekend.
Tu penses? Après, il y a quand même quelqu'un qui apparemment le recherche, qui est un tueur.
I should take out the trash first.
Ah non, parce que tout à l'heure, on avait la photo. On avait la photo du mec, donc c'est pas lui le tueur.